I'm going to let Matt in. Okay, if you're not on mute, if you could put yourselves on mute, that would be great. And I am going to start in about 2 seconds. Okay, well, thank you for joining me today at this very short lunch and learn. I did promise that it would be 20 minutes and I'm going to keep it to 20 minutes. So I'm going to talk quite quickly. So today I'm going to discuss the mental blocks that are basically holding us back, what they are, why they hold us back, what we can do to basically stop them, and also sort of why motivation, mindset and confidence is so important for us as individuals, but also, you know, in a business context as well. Just going to admit everybody. Excellent. Okay. Right, so what are the 6 mental blocks that stop us being successful? I've done quite a bit of research on this, and there seems to be 6 that most people agree on, and they are the fear of failure, that we don't believe that we deserve success, overwhelm, perfectionism, comparison to others, and imposter syndrome. Now, the fear of failure basically stops us doing anything, and that is our mind's fault, because basically it turns around and it goes, oh, you can't do that. What if you fail? What will so-and-so say? What if this happens? What if that happens? Oh my gosh, stop. And what happens is that we don't do it because we're scared of pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone. Our mind's job is to protect us. So back in the day when we had sort of saber-tooth tigers running around after us, yeah, it was doing a good job keeping us safe. Whereas now, because we don't, it doesn't really know what to do. So whenever it thinks that we're pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone, our mind starts to go mental and it starts to chat and give you all of these reasons why you shouldn't do it. And that is basically stopping you by improving yourself and improving your business. You don't deserve to be successful. This is quite a big one. And this is something that actually I struggled with. I didn't think that I deserved to be successful. It took me a while to work out that I had this massive limiting belief. And as soon as I did, I'm not having that, because if you are constantly telling yourself that you don't deserve to be successful, you will end up sabotaging everything that you do on an unconscious level. So I basically got rid of that limiting belief as soon as I realized that it was a problem for me. And there's ways of doing this. Overwhelm. As small business owners, you know, we tend to take on everything. We might outsource a few bits, but you know what? We do everything. And therefore, you know, we're like, what do I do next? And you get to a stage where everything is a priority. You don't know what to do, and you just panic, and therefore you just cannot move on to the next thing. The next issue is that perfectionism. Now, I don't struggle from this. Actually, I'm probably the opposite. I'm probably a little bit too slapdash. But if you are a perfectionist, it's going to stop you doing things. And the issue is that stuff will never be perfect. So therefore you're sitting there, maybe you've put a marketing campaign together or you put a promotion together, but it's sat on your laptop because it's not perfect in your eyes. Well, what's the point? If nobody knows about it, then you may as well not have bothered doing it. So being a perfectionist, some people see that actually as a positive, but actually it can be a negative and it can hold you back. Comparing ourselves to others. We've done this from an early age. From, you know, being at school, we will look over and see what, you know, Johnny's doing and his art is much better than ours. And we constantly compare. And when we find that we feel that we're lacking and somebody else is actually flying, it then stops us doing things. So comparison is huge. And then imposter syndrome. This is where we don't believe we're good enough. We feel that we're winging it. We feel that we're going to get found out. So do you know what? We're just not going to put our head above the parapet. We're just going to stay safe in where we are. So these are the 6 mental blocks that are really stopping you and holding you back. Okay. I can get on to the next slide. Oh. Right, so one thing I would say to you is, if you looked at that list and there was a couple of things, don't try and fix them all at once. Are you all right? Just pick one mental block and deal with that one first, because otherwise you will end up in overwhelm, okay? So what are the quick wins? What can you do to help you get over some of these blocks that we have? So the fear of failure. What is the worst thing can happen? Okay, you decided, I don't know, like I have today, I want to go and do a webinar. Right, I'm doing it. What's the worst thing can happen? The tech doesn't work. Nobody turns up. My presentation is rubbish and you don't like it. Am I going to die? No. Are you going to die? No. Will I learn from it? Yes, I will. So actually, by pushing yourself, by deciding that you're going to do it anyway, you're going to learn from it. And actually, we need to learn. So sometimes we need to fail to learn. What have I learned already about this? I need to make sure that somebody else is letting people into the room, so I'm not. That's a learning point, and that's really good. Okay, so if you find yourself that you want to do something, but you're absolutely terrified, you don't know what you want to do, try Mel Robbins' technique. If you haven't read her book, I suggest you do. It's a brilliant book, and her technique is basically 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and get into activity. So what it is, you decide that you're going to do something. Before your mind starts telling you that you can't do it, you get into activity. So you start to count backwards, 5, 4, 3. By the time you get to 2 or 1, you've started doing whatever you were going to do. By doing this, you're stopping your mind chatting and basically giving you all the excuses as to why you can't do it. And start by pushing yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone and see how that works. And the next time, a little bit further and a little bit further, because then you can control the voices in your head and you can see that actually, what's the worst that's happened? Nothing. Success. Okay, so I don't deserve to be successful. This is a limiting belief, okay? So the first thing I would say to you is define what success looks like to you. And this is also important for comparison as well, okay? Because my success is very different to somebody else's success. And if I don't know what being successful looks like, then how am I actually going to measure it? So that's the first thing, define success. The other thing you can do is you can do affirmations. And this is where we take a limiting belief of I don't deserve to be successful, and we flip it on its head to I deserve to be bloody successful. And then what you do is you basically spend the next 30 days sort of writing that affirmation down, or you say it out loud, or you listen to yourself saying it. You put Post-it notes everywhere, and you're just changing that internal chat in your head. Now, affirmations don't work for me for 2 reasons. I'm not consistent and I'm not patient enough. But luckily, there is an NLP technique that my friends all know about, which is a belief change. And I had my belief changed in about 20 minutes. And it made a huge difference to my attitude and my belief in myself and the success that I deserved. Overwhelm. This is where you literally cannot see the wood for the trees. Okay, you're just sitting there and you're like, I don't even know where to start. If you're feeling like that, the first thing you need to do is, do you have a plan? Do you have a 3, 6, 12-month plan? Actually, we should also have personal plans. I think, we tend to think that plans are business. Yeah, they are. But having an idea of what you want to achieve on a personal level is also a good idea, because then you've got a goal that you can work towards. If you haven't got that goal and you don't know what you want to be doing, there's a likelihood that you will end up being overwhelmed because you just don't know where to start. What's important? You don't know. So if you haven't got a plan, get a plan and follow it. I break my day down into hours. I have a diary, a written diary that I write, and I literally allocate tasks to every part of the day. And then I leave an hour in the evening to basically, well, in the evening at 4 o'clock to catch up, and I follow it. And once I've done it, I tick it off. What I do on a daily basis is underneath my monthly plan, and underneath my monthly plan is my 3, 6 and 12 month plan. So I know what I'm doing. So actually I may get a little bit overwhelmed, but I know what I'm doing and I've got a plan and I can follow it. Perfectionism. If you are a perfectionist, look, just give yourself a break. 80% is good enough, and you're just going to have to accept that. Otherwise, nothing will ever go out. And I'm going to be really blunt with you here. You're making excuses. You are procrastinating. You may think you're not. You might be saying, no, it needs to be perfect. No, you're making an excuse. You're procrastinating. If this is you, and there's 2 things that you can do. Set a deadline and stick to that deadline. And regardless of how you feel that the marketing clutch or whatever looks, you send it out on that deadline. If you still struggle with that, delegate. Give it to somebody else who's not emotionally involved in what's happening. I basically outsource my social media. It's great because I don't have to do it, but also what it means is that I'm not sat there going, oh my God, it's the same post and this is now like the 4th place I've put it in today and I'm sick to death of seeing my face. No, give it to somebody else. She does it. She's not bothered. It gets done. So do that and just give yourself a break, because being a perfectionist is really hard work. Comparison, right, stop it. We compare ourselves all the time to other people, okay? Social media is a nightmare because, we only have the edited highlights. As soon as you start comparing your business or you to somebody else, you are on that downward spiral and it's not going to help you. Think about what you post on social media. Do you post the crap? Do you post the rubbish? Do you post the struggles? No, you don't. Are you any different to anybody else? No, you're not. And again, look at what success means to you. And if you are hitting those benchmarks, then you don't need to compare yourself to anybody else because you are successful in your own right. And then finally, imposter syndrome. As I said, in my opinion, there is no such thing as imposter syndrome. It's just the voices in our head. We are intelligent, knowledgeable people. We have learnt our skill. We have spent time and money getting our skills right, okay? So therefore, we cannot wing it because we know what we're doing. It's the voices in our head, okay, that we start to doubt ourselves. We also learn in 2 different ways. So we learn on a conscious level, but we also learn at an unconscious level. So you might find that you're talking to somebody and they've got a problem or I don't know, something, and all of a sudden a solution just pops into your head. And you're like, where did that come from? Actually, that came from you. You already know it. So therefore, what you're doing is you're sharing that knowledge. It may have been filed away in your unconscious mind, but when you need it, it just comes across to your conscious mind and you can share that with people. And once you realize that, you learn the 2 different ways, then you start to think, actually, I'm not winging this because I know it. We also need to remind ourselves of what we've achieved because we're really good at telling ourselves what we haven't achieved. So I'd like you, if this is an issue for you, to start listing everything that you've achieved on a personal and professional level and have a look at it and read it. Because I tell you what, you'll be really surprised at what you can do. And that will stop those voices and stop you feeling as if you're an imposter. So I base my coaching very much on motivation, mindset, and confidence, because for me, these are the 3 things that are actually going to make you and your business more successful. Motivation, this is all about getting into activity, because as soon as you're actually doing something, you feel better, you're getting stuff done, you can see the results, so therefore you then start doing it again, and you've got that lovely circle of, you're doing stuff. My only thing would say to you is just don't be a busy fool, which is why you need that plan and make sure that you execute against the plan. Mindset. So according to Tony Robbins, 90% of success is down to your mindset. So if you've got a mindset of, you know, oh my God, I don't deserve to be successful, or, you know, running my own business is hard, or, you know, life's just rubbish at the minute, that's what's going to drive you. So you need to control the voices in your head. I didn't realize you could do this till about 2 years ago. I now know that I can control these voices. I was sat here waiting for you guys, and the voice was like, what if nobody turns up? And I'm like, well, fine, if nobody turns up, I've got a 20-minute video that I've recorded and I can share it with people. What if the tech doesn't work? Well, I'm pretty good with Zoom, but do you know what? As you saw at the beginning, I couldn't move the slides. I've figured it out. It's fine. Did I die? No, I didn't. So it's just controlling those voices and reducing the noise, and actually getting to a stage where you don't listen to them, or you do what I do, is you have a conversation with them and then you tell them to go away. And then there's confidence. And this is what's going to make the biggest difference to your business. Okay, you have the skills, you have the knowledge. But if you haven't got the confidence in you and your business and your success, then you're going to doubt yourself. So do you know what? The confidence is the sparkle and the sprinkle on top. And we all deserve to have this confidence. And we've all got it. We just need to find it. Life has just banged us down a little bit, okay? But actually with the confidence, you've then got everything. And it just makes you feel so much better. Claire, can you put yourself on mute, please? Thank you. Okay, so how can I help you? So as I said, I basically focus on motivation, mindset, and confidence where it comes to my coaching. I've given you some quick wins that you can look at if you struggle from any of those 6 blocks. But what I actually work with my clients, I start off with a 3-hour, and it's called my Introduction to Coaching package. It's a 3-hour package, but it's broken down into 2 blocks of 1.5 sessions. And during this time, we do an audit of where you are today. So we do an audit of your business, why you started it, what the issues are, what you love, what you don't love, you know, everything. We have a real good chat about it. And as a coach, I don't let you off the hook. And this is the other thing. It's like, as coaches, we will ask questions and we will get you to think about things that you don't normally think about. And we'll ask you, why are you doing that? What is that the good thing to do? Why should you be doing this? I had a lady the other day, she's a hairdresser, mobile hairdresser. She has one client that lives 40 minutes away. She drives 40 minutes to cut this lady's hair and drives back 40 minutes. 2 hours she spends on this woman and she charges £38. That's not a good use of time. And she hadn't realized that, because sometimes you just can't, because you're too close to your business. So these are the type of conversations that we have. What we will also do is we'll identify a quick win, the quick wins that will move you away from some of these mental blocks. So that's part of the motivation part of it. And I'll give you homework. And there's normally 2 weeks in between the first session and the second session, because you need to implement stuff. Coming to me for a chat is lovely, but actually you need to actually get stuff done. And that's the difference between coaching and therapy. Therapy, you chat, you go away. Coaching, we chat, we do stuff. With NLP, we actually start fixing stuff, but then you have to go away and go and do some stuff. It's your business. Then in the second session, what we do is we work on the big issue. This is the mindset part. We work on the big issue that's holding you back. We identify it again, we have a really long chat about it. You know, mine was, I don't deserve to be successful. It took me 6 months to work that out by myself. 6 months of my business just stagnating, which is ridiculous. You know, so that's why I ask until we actually get to that big problem and we deal with it. Done. We will also work on your confidence in this session as well, so that, you know, you do feel, and this is supercharged, you feel supercharged, you feel super excited, you're just like, do you know what, I can take on the bloody world, and you can. That's how you're supposed to feel, okay? And then what we also do is we look at sort of what you're going to do in the next sort of month or so that you know exactly what you're doing. And again, that's part of the motivation. I do offer 2 other packages, which you can bolt on to this one. So if you do Introduction to Coaching today, you'd spend 2 weeks doing that. You can then bolt on to the next package and then the next package. And what I do is I take the price off. So, you know, you could end up spending, I think the biggest, the platinum package is 13 hours. That's all you need. 13 hours, and it will completely change you and your business. Now, normally the introduction to coaching is £450, but I am offering a discount for people who've attended today and people who book in October for £300. So that's £300 for 3 hours of basically kickstarting your business and moving it up to the next level. I've got 19 seconds left. So if you do want to get in touch, these are my contact details. I'm more than happy to chat to you. I do offer a sort of 30-minute sort of free consultation just to see whether we could work together, if we're compatible, because that's the other thing. You know, you may think, do you know what? I don't want to work with Yvonne. I don't like her. That's okay. There are other coaches. And that's the other thing for me. You know, I need to feel that I can make a difference to you, because if I can't, then I don't want to take your money, because what will happen is you won't be happy. You'll tell other people, and it's just not good. People buy from people. We actually work together because we like each other. We have the same common goals. So therefore, you know, having a chat beforehand, I think, is really important, just to see what that connection is. So that's it. I've gone 30 seconds over my 20 minutes. I am going to stop recording. As I say, it was a